Michelle's here. We have Stephen Collins and Chelsea on the team as well. We have some of our product specialists. The guy that was yelling at you in the parking lot, Dan Peterson, is from our accessories department. So have a lot of specialists on the brand. If you have any questions on things, please reach out to those guys. Also, real quick, I want to introduce, you can just raise your hand, James Jensen. Where are you at? There he is in the top of the stairs. And Patrick McBride. So James is from our Spirit Lake facility. He's one of the production supervisors, and Patrick is from our Spearfish facility as well. So those are actually the guys with their hands on the products on a day-to-day basis. So make sure you kind of introduce yourself to those guys as well. So kind of on with the show here. So we kind of changed things up a little bit. Wanted to kind of give you guys a unique experience, kind of an exclusive look at a new product that we have coming out, which is the new Jack Daniel's Indian motorcycle that'll be coming. So before we kind of kick it off, I want to remind everybody, this bike has not been released to the public yet. You are actually going to get the first look at this motorcycle outside of anybody internally from Indian. You are the first ones that actually get to take a look at it. We're going to reveal this motorcycle to the world on Main Street tonight at 7 p.m. At our display over on Main Street. So we invite all of you to come out and support that. It will be an awesome time. So that said, when you see it, resist the temptation to take any pictures, please, because we want to respect that this thing hasn't been released to the public yet. And in terms of trying not to get leaks, no Instagramming or Facebooking or Snapchatting or whatever you kids are doing nowadays. So all that being said, I'm going to introduce a man you guys know really well, Steve Minetto, who's the president of Indian Motorcycle, to come up and talk to you guys. Give it up for Steve.
Thanks for coming. Really appreciate you guys coming out to to this event, and it's some fun under here. We'll leave that to Dave and Brian and the team to take you through that. Just as we do every year, just kind of want to run you through. We just finished 2018. Kind of how's Indian doing in 2018? Give you some little facts and figures and some stories about how things are going around the world. So really exciting about the continued growth around the world. Indian had a great year in 2018. You're going to hear a lot, you've probably read a lot about the overall motorcycle industry is really struggling and so forth. And yeah, there are some challenges in the industry, but you got to look at it this way: is you got to separate industry from brand, right? Is some of the other brands are struggling, and some of the other brands that are not doing so well. We don't wish them ill, but they have their own challenges. This brand's doing phenomenal. Okay, so let's talk about why we're doing phenomenal. Last year, and you're seeing a little bit of a change in our product. So we'll start with product first. Last year, you saw the Scout Bobber, you saw the new style of Chieftain, and those are models to attract new riders. And what we've seen already is the new style of Chieftain is actually up 52% above the classic-looking Chieftain. Okay?
I don't believe that.
And when you look at the data, it's actually attracting new riders. It's not Indian riders buying that bike. It's new riders coming into the brand. Same with Bobber. Outstanding a product that was launched to attract new riders into the brand. So what you're going to see from us over time, and you saw in the FTR, is you're going to see this kind of classic, authentic looking product that we're going to stick with and continue with. That's where our brand started and so forth. And then you're going to see us move out and try to attract new riders with different styles of bikes to continue to grow the brand. And that's been, so far, really strong for us when growing overall. Let's take the Bobber, for instance. When we look at market share, we look at where Indian started, which was 0. Right? We didn't have any market share, any share of the overall sales. And now the Bobber is up to 24% market share. So 25% of the mid-sized bikes that are sold in the United States actually is an Indian. Right? That is phenomenal results from that bike in all the different dealers. When you look at our dealers, we look at our dealers and say, how are we growing them? And around the globe, again, we're into about 45 countries, over 400 dealers, and we're purposely making sure that we keep our dealer count at a reasonable rate so our stores can actually have same-store growth, and that we continue to fill in areas. So we're not in areas that are open points. So we're not looking to grow all these crazy dealers because we have to have survivability of the stores and make sure they're profitable, they stay in business, and support all the riders. So doing a great job there. We actually are opening up our own subsidiary in Japan now. Japan's the second largest heavyweight market in the world behind North America. And so come October, we'll have direct Indian into Japan, which is phenomenal. In Europe, We grew 55% last year in 2018 in Europe. 55%. And just tremendous growth that's going on in Europe, all through the 26 countries in the EU. And just this spring, February 4th, the week of February 4th, we started Indian production in Opole, Poland. So the bikes made in Poland actually get shipped to the dealers in Europe. Okay? One of the challenges that we had is it takes about 6 to 8 weeks from Spirit Lake to get to Europe. And when you're growing at 55%, there's no way you can keep up with demand. And so we left a lot of growth on the table, and we've had a lot of unsatisfied potential customers who could not get bikes. So we just opened up and started to make bikes in Poland. They go through the same quality checks, paint quality checks, and so forth. Those bikes are all designed in Spirit Lake by our team of engineers in Spirit Lake and so forth. We're just producing in Poland to serve Europe. Okay, those bikes aren't repatriated back to the States, they stay in Europe. All right, so we're really excited about our growth. It's a phenomenal growth story. We continue to do that. And really, when you look at our people, Taylor said you've met some of the people here. We got great people on the team. They work every day really hard to make sure that Indian is a great brand, great product, and really support our customers like yourselves to make sure you really enjoy our brand. But really, too, where we want to say thank you is to all of our partners. And we'll talk about Dave with Jack Daniels and what Jack Daniels does to extend our brand and how we work together to support the military and really grow the business together. That's always exciting. Kerry Hart and Big B are here today, you know, great partners of the brand who really work on extending our brand. We did last April a good ride. Kerry has a charity of a good ride. We went over to Germany, did a ride, Indian ride with a lot of the soldiers over there. Really cool opportunity to introduce Indian to those riders, as well as Kerry's support of the charities and so forth. So great partners. And of course, Brian Clark, who's always helped us out on these great bikes, and you'll see his work today. So Indian growing really, really well, even in the challenge market around the globe. We're excited about the future. We continue to proliferate our platforms and products, so we're not done yet. We're just getting started in growing our product offerings and so forth as we continue to grow. And a lot of good excitement as we move forward. So come visit us at the Main Street today, or at the track for demos, or at the dealership in Beach Street. But we'll be around if you guys want to chat. So I'm going to hand it over to Dave. He's going to take you through Jack Daniels and how we both together support what we do with these bikes, and just a great, fantastic partner, and it's always great to work with Dave, great person. So thanks, everybody.
Well done, Steve. Thanks for having me. Obviously, I won't be up here too long because the sun's a-shining. That's not funny. Come on. Let me tell you why. I just retired actually from Jack Daniels after 34 years, and it was just a fantastic company to work for. And I'm actually signed back up to work part-time, and I'm doing that now. But one of the things that I learned working for Jack Daniels, and I guess I'm a true American, was that our companies, and I also learned over the years that we need to make product here in the United States, and we need to sell it outside this country. And when I started, probably 3-4% of Jack Daniels was sold outside the United States. It's all made, matured, bottled in one place, Lynchburg, Tennessee, by people from Lynchburg. And one of the things as my career kind of went on, I said, you know, when I ended up, 60% of everything that we make down there goes and is sold overseas. And one of the things I wanted to do was try to take my career and align with other American brands, other American companies. And I contacted Steve Minetto. And I said, I want to do something with Indian motorcycles. I don't want to do it with somebody else, but I want to do an alignment with Indian motorcycles. Because when I was cutting my teeth way back when I was a child, a relative of mine used to come to work every day at a little sausage making shop in Baltimore. And he always rode an Indian, and I got to see that bike. And when they came back into production, the rumor came out that they were coming back into production. We approached them. And Jack Daniels had never done anything with a motorized vehicle ever before that would be sold to the public. And we did that with this relationship. And with this whole concept of bottles and throttles don't mix. You don't drink and you don't ride. And I believe that, and I practice that every day. But in addition to all that stuff, what I wanted to do was align with other American companies, and we found Brian Clark, a self-starter. He started his own business in a garage, and we also aligned with Montana Silversmiths. Just this whole philosophy of we will be stronger as American companies together than we would be apart. So we make great products year in and year out. That brought us to our first bike several years ago for our 150th anniversary that we produced, and they're out there. I saw a couple of them pull in today. Thank you for bringing them. And now it's led into our fourth bike, correct, Brian? Our fourth bike, which he'll also reveal. And what we did kind of with this bike is the theme's more about the people that have hands-on, those that turn the wrenches, and Steve introduced you to a couple of them, those that paint the bikes, those that actually do the work. And certainly we have our superstars like Jeff Arnett, our master distiller, etc. But the people that do our work, I have two people here today, and Howard Birchman. Howard actually picks the trees when the loggers come in to make our barrels. And that's what his job is. He picks the trees, and he says he eventually makes a stick. And those sticks are then sent to our cooperage, and we make our own barrels. And we age our whiskey or mature our whiskey in those barrels. And every one of those barrels is different, and every barrel of whiskey is a little bit different. So Brian will get to that theme of how that ties in with this particular bike that we do. But we also brought, where's Mark Hatch? Howard's sitting down here. There's Mark Hatch. So we got Howard on the front end and Mark Hatch at our distillery on the back end. And what Mark does is all our landscaping business. And you might say, well, that's just landscaping business. He's working on a way right now to take some of those used barrels and chip them up and turn them into mulch. Mulch for our distillery and mulch for others to purchase. So and both of them, oh, by the way, both of them, United States Marine Corps, U.S. Army. Again, as America is. So Brian will talk a little bit about this bike, but again, what I wanted to say is stronger together than apart. And if we work together, I do think that we can survive and be a lot stronger. The neat part about these bikes, just like single barrel, is kind of everyone's different. I saw along the parking lot, walked and looked at all the Indians out there, and you've all done a little something different to your bike. So have I. My Roadmaster sits out there. I've got a few different things on that guys kind of laugh at or whatever, and some guys admire. You know, my turkey feather or what have you, but that's me, and that's what single barrel's about. Every bottle or every barrel is a little bit different, and every one of these bikes is different. You, as Americans, can also put the individual touch in your bike and your motorcycle. And if you get single barrel out there, you might taste the difference from one bottle to the next. That's kind of the theme behind it. A guy that's been great, that has helped us all along the way, who has become a very, very good friend of mine, Brian Clock. Brian, would you come up and talk about this bike just a little bit? Thank you.
And that guy up there yelling "crack a barrel" is a New York firefighter. Where you at, Danny? I heard your loud mouth. So if you would have told me, you know, a class of 13 and 350 people in Emory, South Dakota, that someday I'd even go to Daytona, I thought that'd be great. So in 1984, I came down here for my first Daytona bike rally, and I've been here every year since. But if you'd have told me I'd be working with two great brands like Indian and Jack Daniels, I would have said that probably is never going to happen. But I also would have never thought I'd be the windshield guy. So I'm super excited to be here, super honored to do this. And what I hope you all understand is that even by showing up here today and getting the first look at this bike, even though I know Taylor told you not to post it, and you're all going to just do it anyway, the bottom line is, you're all the Mavericks, right? You're all kind of the rebels. You picked the motorcycle brand that came back. You wanted to have an Indian. You wanted to have something different. Then you realize how great it rode, how great they worked, how great the people were that were behind it, and how much they care about what you're doing. And so it's that Maverick following that continues to grow and grow and grow. When we started making windshields, it was so tiny, and now it's so much bigger. And I go to China, and there's my windshield. I'm like, how did that even happen? Well, it happens because one of you believes in it, you tell another person who tells another person. And as Steve said, as we continue to bring out greater products, you're part of that process. Many of you know, won't even buy a Jack Daniels bike. Some of you rode in on one today. And just like a single barrel select bottle, the serial number on every single barrel bottle is right on the neck. So if you go there and you try it and you're like, this is awesome, you better hustle back to your liquor store and buy another one. Because there are only going to be so many bottles, like 180 to 220 bottles out of that one barrel. And that wood that Howard picked out and the whole thing, I mean, that makes it all unique, makes it different. Same deal with your bikes. You all have great bikes out here, Every one of those have its own serial number. Every one of these Jack Daniels bikes is numbered, and every one of them is a little bit different because of what you did to it. So just by being here today, I would like you to give yourselves a huge round of applause for being the Mavericks that lead Indian into the next level. So without further ado, I'm sure you're all hot and sick of me talking. I'll bring these two lovely models. This is as good as we could get. Reed and Taylor, go ahead and pull the, there you go. Get this block out of the way. So this year we've got a hot rod, okay? This is going to be the first 116 production bike ever out of the Indian fleet. So finally, you've been asking for it. You're like, I want that big block power. You got it. It's right here, and it comes factory with a 116 in it. You'll notice we put brand new designs into it. There's a brand new wheel, gloss black forks, gloss black headlight. Of course, we have to have my flare windshield on there. We're excited about that. We've got new seats, but more importantly, this is the first time the Springfield has ever come with the new tank and the new bags. Notice on the badge, you'll see in the badge the detail work right here, this gray, that is the gray off the single barrel select bottle. It is the exact wood grain that is on every box that goes out of Jack Daniels. Every box that comes out of Lynchburg has that same detail on it. We've got the single barrel select logo here. It's on the floorboards. It's even back here. And one of the things you'll notice is this incredible paint. This is custom paint. The guys at Spearfish, I know, Pat's up there, you give them a huge round of applause. They keep whipping out this paint that just makes our bike better than the next brand. And so many times we ask them to do something and they're like, ugh, I don't know if I can do that. And yet we push them, and that's what pushes the envelope. The other thing you're going to notice on this bike are new handlebars. These are a new set of mini apes, and what this does is brings your hands in a little bit tighter. So for like Kerry and Big B when they're splitting lanes in California, problems, no more mirror breakage, Big B. You don't have to put your elbow out there, just keep them in, baby. So as you're seeing this bike, we want you to all enjoy what you're seeing, understand what you're seeing. The Montana Silversmiths badge, right here is the number. This is bike number 1 of 177. We're going to do 177 limited edition bikes again this year. And as always, we hope they sell out. We sold out that first 150 bikes that Dave and Steve thought up, and Steve's like, Dave, I think we can do 50. And Dave's like, no, we're doing 150. It's 150 years of Jack. If I have to buy them back myself, we're going to do it. We did it. They sold out in 8 hours. We did the next year. We turned the volume down a little bit. We thought, oh, maybe it's not that big a deal. Maybe we're just drinking our own whiskey. Haha. And sure enough, we did 100 of them, and they sold out in 10 minutes. Last year, we did 177 of the Jack Daniels Fire Brigade bikes. Those bikes sold out in 9 minutes. So place your bets. We're hoping for 8 minutes because we want to just keep getting better, like Steve said. If it goes 11 minutes, we're still going to be happy. But 9 would be really nice. 8 would be even better. Okay. So let's hear it for all. Oh, we're going to do it in 7. Of course, it's got to be Jack Daniels 7. Thanks, Dave. So we're looking for 7 minutes to sell 177 bikes. But all that said, nobody's ever done that before in history. I mean, the first year we did it, it was on Reuters, it was on Yahoo Finance because Indian and Polaris is a publicly traded company. Those are monuments in history and marks in history that we're making. You look at the Ford GT, they came out with it 10 years ago, they only made so many. That was a modern historic bike. You guys are seeing modern historic bikes, whether it's the 200 new Elites that you can get up there, the red one that's sitting out there right now, or whether you get to your local dealer and get one of these new Jack bikes. So give yourselves a big round of applause again for being the Mavericks. Come on down here, we want to get a group picture, is that right? Come on up here, tell them what's up.
Give it up for Brian Clark, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Brian. You're good. You're good. So 2 quick things. Losing my voice here. We're going to get to a group picture. Before we do, I forgot to say at the beginning, if you got a flat track ticket on your way in, or if you signed up for one, make sure you see Michelle and get one. I think we have a few extras since not everybody showed up today. We have a really cool opportunity. We need about 50-ish bodies for the opening ceremonies at the flat track races on Thursday at the Speedway, where you can actually be part of the national anthem and hold the big flag in the infield while they do the national anthem during the opening ceremonies of the flat track race. So Michelle at the front of registration is keeping a tally on that, so if you're interested, please see her. With that said, I'd like to invite everybody to come down here so we can take our annual group photo. So if everybody can make their way down here on the stage, we'll kind of get everybody set up.